Dokkanners? Welcome back to Tsunami for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we will not be doing any showcases or any speculations. We're going to be talking about something that, I don't know, you could see it as depressing, you could see it as ridiculous or ironic. I never thought that I would reach this point, folks. And I realized this about a month ago. I have reached over 100 max link level units. Me. Now, right now, that doesn't seem like an absurd concept, but if you were around last year during the 5-year anniversary, you would agree that this is actually absurd, because I preached something so different that me link leveling these units to the max wouldn't have been something that I typically would have done. And this is where the depressing part comes in. I'm not gonna say 180'd on the idea, but I didn't practice what I preached. So let's just start by looking at these units. So these are the units that I have max link leveled. Some of them are obvious, some of them make zero sense. So I will explain to you why these units are the ones that I linked up first. Hang on, I actually want to see what the distribution is. Let's see. AGL is 18, okay. Tech is 19, all right. So this should be pretty even. I think I tried to make it even. 21 for int, 23 for ST. Okay, I guess it's not working out too much. Oh, and 21 for physical. Okay, so it is kind of even. It's kind of like a 20 unit average, which is good. That's kind of what I was going for. Because when I first started to see that I was getting a lot of a certain type, I had to fix that. I'm trying to think which one that was. It might have been either AGL or physical, or maybe, no, I think it was STR because we had Broly's in there. So my thought on link leveling, my thought process was, it's a nice bonus, but it is not something that is meant to be rushed. And that's still true. It is not something that's meant to be rushed. The whole concept of a link level process was meant to integrate somewhat of an RPG element into your Dokkaning day-to-day activities. It's not something that's supposed to happen rushed and forced. It's supposed to happen organically over time when you're doing your multiple events per day, your daily routines and all that stuff. You'll get a couple link level ups here and there, which is kind of like the RPG style. Okay, you leveled up a Pokemon, it gains some stats. Or you play Fire Emblem and you level up a unit, you gain like 5 different attributes or something like that. That's the kind of idea that they had in mind. But then when people started to, explore deeper and learn about the code and what really goes into it, we don't truly know exactly what goes into it, but for the most part, we have a general understanding of how it works. People then took it to the next level, and rightfully so, because if you play the game a lot, you care about the game, you want those extra stats. Like, for example, Big Bad Bosses. Big Bad Bosses is the #1 link in the entire game, strictly from a stat perspective. Attack and defense plus 25%. I believe at level 1, it was when you have 80% or less or something like that. And as you level up this link, it becomes an unconditional attack and defense plus 25%, which is on par with basic passives from the first or second year of Dokkan. The advent of link leveling gave a wide variety of bonuses in terms of damage output, synergy on various teams that you wouldn't typically run, which then created this need and yearning for people to take their Dokkaning to the next level and start to rush these link levels in. I saw this as something that was fun to do, but not too much. And I started preaching what I like to call smart links. What that was, you would jump into quest mode 23-8 and you would run through the entire run. But if you didn't get more than one single link level up, it was time for your entire team to be wiped and start over with a new team. Or at least that one unit. If you're trying to bring in one unit and have it level up and it's not doing anything for one run, it's time to switch. Because that sense of gratification, that very satisfying feeling of getting that level up, is lost on people who are trying to go for a single unit whose max links, except for one, at level 9. You're not probably going to get that for at least 5, 10, 20, 30 runs even. I think Nolar told me it once took him like 30 stamina refreshes to get one of his units to fully max out. I've gone through something like that myself as well, so it is not a fun process to do, but the payoff, it is rewarding if you are really invested in this game. And I wasn't at first. I would do exactly that, except for my first team. My very first team, I think, was a Kamehameha or a Last Resort team. I think I had Gohan, the 5-year fusions, Ultra Instinct Goku, because he dropped before the 5-year fusions, the Blue Kaioken, and I'm trying to think, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there was one, oh, Gobros. Gobros was the other one. So I tried to put together a team full of units that I like to use as leads, as well as units that I just use on the regular. And those were the units that I chose, had them all link level to the max. I was done with it. After that, I thought, you know what? I don't want to keep doing this. It's very frustrating. But then over time, I started to see the benefit of people having a full team with big bad bosses, a full team with various abilities that just made for a ridiculous team difference. And then I thought, okay, you know what? I can't be losing to people like Goresh this badly where I'm getting lapped. I can't do that, so I have to start working at it. So I started working on these link levels. Over time, I came up with various strategies on how to do this as quickly as possible. My first thought after my very first team was to focus on AoE units, and the reason why was for the World Tournament. The World Tournament is what I care about in terms of ranking really high. That's the one thing that I do pretty well. It's not really a reflection of skill, it's more like how little of a life you have. But I would put so much time and effort into the World Tournament, I thought that working on these units and their links would give me the edge that I need to run through a certain stage with only one attack, as opposed to two like I would do from before. So that started this eventual, not addiction, but momentum that just carried on for the past year. I would work on all AoE units, then I proceeded to multiple hit units, so units like Vegeta who launch additional attacks. Then I started working on units that have counters, because what you want to be doing on 23-8 is to be able to hit multiple targets. If you don't have any units that can do AoEs or multiple attacks, you're going to be basically attacking 3 units per turn, with the occasional 4th if you get an additional to proc. That will make the event take much longer, because sometimes you'll be fighting 5 Cybermen, you're only going to get 4 killed, you'll have to take a second turn to get it done. And that process took so long that I started to find ways to cut corners and optimize my link leveling process. So what I would do is I would bring a team with at least 1 AoE unit, 1 counter unit, or 1 multiple hit unit. And then I would always have the friend unit be the physical Dragon Ball Super Broly. The physical Dragon Ball Super Broly is literally the best unit to use when link level grinding, because he doesn't need any sort of leader skill. He will take care of his own ki on his own, basically. That's what's so great about this unit. At most, you might need 3 ki. So he will do most of the work for you by attacking all targets, but that's only 1 turn. You have to have a second AoE unit to take care of the second turn. That's where the other multiple hit unit or the counter unit or whatever comes into play. So for this team, as you can see, I have the Great Saiyaman 3 because that's where it's come to for me. I've done all the AoE units, I've done all the multiple hit units that I can think of, and now I'm working on some counters. So that's why I've got this guy here for the counter mechanic, because if he attacks 1 target and then 3 units attack him, those guys will all be destroyed in that turn anyway from his counter. So this would be the first rotation, Saiyaman with whoever. The second rotation would be the Broly with whoever. Right now I'm working on a Planet Namek Saga focused team. So in this particular case, I have 2 units that have multiple hits, the Frieza and the Son Goku. Both can attack multiple times, so these 2 will likely helm 1 rotation while the Broly helms the other. So every single battle against the Cybermen typically will end in 1 turn. If it doesn't, it's only because I got really unlucky with attack distributions, or I haven't quite figured out my rotations just yet, which happens from time to time. And I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I've ranked up at least 150 times since the 5-year anniversary. It's gotta be something crazy. I'm gonna look it up right now, see if I can find it. There it is right there. That's how many ranks I've gone up since the 5-year anniversary, and 80% of it is attributed to link level grinding. And I've gotten pretty used to it now, where I start to do it so much when I'm trying to do showcases or things on live streams. Instead of going to events, I'll actually autopilot and just go to quest mode and go to 23-8, and then before I know it, I realize, oh wait, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. So link leveling has now become just hard-coded into my very DNA, and that's why I've reached 100 links. I could have had a couple more at this point, but the transforming units absolutely screwed me up. If you guys are working on links and you're using this Frieza, I highly recommend you take a look at this. This is the first level. Take a look at the second level. Okay, still max links. Take a look at the third level. Still max links. Take a look at the fourth. Oh, there you go. You're missing one. That might be happening to you guys too. That happened to me, and I only realized this maybe 2 weeks ago after this had been sitting in the max links tag for months. It was very depressing to find that out. And then I realized that the Super Saiyan Vegeta had also gone through the same exact process. So right now, I have almost completed the Transforming Frieza and the Goku. I just finished the Vegeta yesterday. So these guys are almost done. Once they're done, I don't think there's any other transforming units that I can think of that could screw me over like that. I don't know. A lot of my units also have all type leader skills. The reason why I have this is because when I'm running a bunch of random units that have no correlation to one another, I need to have some sort of umbrella unit that can oversee everybody and give them some ki. Because if I don't have any good leader skill, then all of these units are going to have very minimal ki, and they won't be able to use their super attacks, and that will actually make the process take a little bit longer. So at the very least, I have to have an all types lead of some kind. So in this particular case, the Krillin accounts for the all types lead. Key +3, stats +50%. The stats really don't matter. You're fighting Cybermen. If you lose to them, you really have problems. Other units that got EZAs that I wouldn't have normally put effort into are units like Tapion. I don't really use Tapion. We got the Ginyu Force here. Ginyu Force is in the process of getting their EZAs to the 350 million download celebration, so I got all of these guys done. It's a shame they don't have that 7th link. And lastly, if I wasn't playing on Global, I don't think I would be this adamant about link leveling. But because I'm on Global, I have the added benefit of knowing what's coming. So when JP gets a particular EZA, like for example, the Int Ultra Instinct Goku, this unit's EZA came out of nowhere during JP's 6-year anniversary, and everybody was caught off guard. JP players were scrambling to try to link level the unit as much as possible. Obviously, you know, the head honchos already had them done, but a lot of people were quickly trying to work on those links. I got to see this ahead of time as a Global player, and I had this unit well prepared long before he arrived on Global. So because of that extra foresight that I have as a Global player, I'm able to see what EZAs are coming, and I can better prepare by maxing out their links, especially if they're units that I'm going to be using a lot once they get their EZAs. Now, I'm not able to hold pace with all the EZAs that are coming because we've had like 10 in the past like 2 months, which is not a complaint, it's great, but I just can't keep up with it. Right now, I'm working on the Planet Namek Saga team. That takes precedence over everything, so the Ginyu Force units, the Transform units that are getting their EZAs, they're not necessarily Planet Namek Saga, but you know, they're relevant to the celebration. And then of course, the 2 new Dokkan Fest LRs. These guys have to get their links done because I'm gonna be using them all the time. These guys are very good. At this point, I have all of my favorite units maxed out. It's simply a matter of who's gonna be getting an EZA, how good are they gonna be, and is it worth getting them max level links for a particular showcase or an upcoming event that I could use with those units. So that's pretty much it. A look into my link leveling process, my box, my ridiculous 100 max links. I know that a lot of you maybe don't care. I know some of you who are just 10 times crazier than me when it comes to link leveling. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments down below. This is just something that I do, man. I like Dokkan, and I clearly like it to the point where I go back on my own word about smart links, and I just go the whole 9 yards. I'm curious to see, though, how many of you still employ that strategy, smart links. I know my boy Havohai does, because he has better things to do than to do this. But how many of you guys still adopt that same philosophy? That's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below, and let me know in the comments which of the units from my link level showcase caught you off guard. Which one surprised you? Was there anything that you saw from my list? If you want to go back and pause it, feel free. If there's anyone on the list that you weren't expecting to be there, who is that unit? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future, and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! I'll give you a hint. It's this guy. Oh, that TN. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly. And link level responsibly.